everyone! Today, as you can tell by the title, I'm making a Vanillamace doll. If you don't know who Vanillamace is, she's a Twitch streamer, now influencer, TikToker, and she's f***ing hilarious. I've very much enjoyed watching her videos. I enjoy her personal style, which you can see a little bit in these photos. Her style is quite eclectic. It's also a little bit 90s, and generally, yeah, everything I like. So let's go.
Help me, help me, help me!
Here I'm just using a little screwdriver. That's what I use to take the hair of the head. I scrape it along the top. It's not very glamorous, but it does the job. After that, I use some tweezers and I'll just pull the hair out of the head while it's still a little bit warm. This just helps it be a bit pliable so that it'll come out easier. I'm using a combination of G3 dolls. I'm using a Draculaura body and a Cleo Denial head. I did initially draw up for a Draculaura head, but it didn't really look right. I'm most confident with a G3 Cleo. It's who I've got the most experience with, so I happen to have both of them in, so I figured that I'd combine them. When it comes to repainting skin tones, I'll just use some watered down acrylic for that, and I'll do a couple of layers of that, making sure that it's not thick and blobby. After I've done that, I'll use a little bit of pink eyeshadow, get some shading down. I'll also use that on the joints of the doll as well. Moving on to drawing her tattoos on, I decided to use a watercolor pencil for them because painting them would have been too complex. You can see here that she has quite intricate tattoos. It was kind of hard to find references for them, but these are just some that I found. I kind of had to guess with a few of them and figure out the script. The script isn't legible at the best of times, but when you're doing it on a little doll like this, it's almost certainly not gonna be. So, you just kinda gotta guess what this says, to be honest. First person in the comments to get it wins. You win nothing but the appreciation that you got it before anybody else. Now I've got a little unboxing. I figured it was only right in a vanilla video to do a little Sunny Angel unboxing. Now the only thing is I live in a small town, so we don't have these. So I had to order one online. I do believe this is fake, but it's alright. At the end of the day, a little guy is a little guy. Now you'll see how I didn't really highlight any of the ones that I didn't want. You just gotta wait. When I tell you, there was maybe only one I didn't want. No spoilers, yeah? You're just gonna have to find out in 0.2 seconds which one I get.
Oh, who is you?
I got this fugly little hedgehog. And it makes it even worse that he's fake, right? He doesn't look right. Why is his eye so high? Right. I'm so happy I got one of those. I'm so happy I got one of those, guys. Anyway, now we just lived through that. And I lived through that for a second time. We're back to the tattoos. I'm going back over some of the ones that I initially sketched on, making them a little bit darker. And now we're doing the intricate back tattoo, but unfortunately, I didn't record anything else. So, this is all we've got. After that, I went on to paint the face. Once again, I'm using acrylic paint for this. I've always used acrylic paint for my face-ups, but to be honest, I will say only in the past maybe like 4 or 5 months have I really kind of gotten comfortable with the consistency that you need. And it's way more watery than you would think. If you're just getting started out, thin those paints down a little bit more. You're gonna need to. That's how you make it look really flat. Don't mind my thumb in this, by the way. I not long finished airbrushing, so that's what's on my thumb. I'm using a mixture of like a pearlescent paint and then some acrylic paint. This helps me just highlight on the eyelid a little bit better. I've given her like a pink and purplish look with the eyeshadow. I used a more cool toned brown and purple blend around the crease of her eye and then underneath. It was a Gucci Gang Gabby video that she did where she mentioned that she really liked cool toned makeup, so I made sure to do that in the doll form of her as well. Now it's onto her lips. I'm using a similar shade that I did for the outer parts of the eyelid, and then I'm outlining that with a slightly darker brown as well. We interrupt this broadcast. Is that how the guy from SpongeBob sounds? Anyway, we're interrupting the video again. It's the last time. I wanted to say a big thank you because I have reached my top surgery saving goal. I paid my deposit, my flights, my B&B, and pretty much everything apart from the surgery cost, all down to making custom dolls from everybody that has wanted one from me. So I'm feeling very grateful. I've included some pictures of all of the dolls that I've made that have made it possible for me to be able to save this much and able to pay for it myself within, I would say, about a year and a half, but maybe about a year of Die Hard saving all my money. I am feeling extremely grateful and a fair bit overwhelmed, I think, with just how fast I've been able to do this. So a very big thank you to everybody that has commissioned me and helped. And now we're gonna go back to making the doll before I do a little sob in a YouTube video. But also thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, yippee, yippee, yippee. Alright, serious talk. Back to the doll. After I... It's not really serious. We're making a doll. After I've laid all of the base colors down for the eyeshadow, the eye whites, I'll go in with the black acrylic paint and I'll do the eyelashes and the iris, the eyelid, all things like that. Just, this is where I find that my face-ups start to come together. It's very much a trust the process until this point, I think. I gave her some darling little hearts for the eye whites. I had to make it look so cutesy. I never usually attempt to do any shape other than a circle, but hearts isn't too crazy and it actually turned out pretty cute. I did do her hair gelling off camera because it was a little bit intense. I've never done a hairstyle like this before, but it turned out, once again, very cutesy. I'm adding a little gloss to her lips as well, just to give them a little bit of shine, make them pop a little bit from the matte finish of the face. Now we're onto her outfit. I figured I would do a simple outfit for her, but I knew that I definitely wanted to make her merch collaboration cardigan that features her cat's Chime Miso. I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge just because of the scale and the complexity, but you'll be able to see how I get on with that. Unfortunately, I don't use any fabric paint. I do only use acrylic paint, so it takes a couple layers, so you gotta kind of bear with me on this. I cut out most of painting the white, but here's how the base layers ended up looking. It's a little bit illegible right now, but you'll be able to see how here I'm using some black and the pink to just make sure to get the features of Chime Miso back in. It was quite a challenge to get these to look legible as her cats and close to the original collab design, but I think they turned out pretty good in the end. I think it reads well and translates as well as it can to be scaled down to a doll size. I sewed her little dress pieces off camera. I've noticed in a lot of her vlogs she's either wearing like a, I don't know if you call it a leotard. It's like a Skims bodysuit a little bit, but I wanted to put her in a bodycon dress just because I'm not the biggest fan of sewing trousers and I don't get to do many dolls with bodycon dresses like this, so I wanted to use it for Vanilla. I don't very often get to do realistic accessories for dolls, so I'm taking every opportunity with Vanilla to utilize things like this bag, a Stanley cup, and a little phone. I am going to be customizing these to fit her better because at the minute, that gold cup from, I think it's Nephra G3, it's just not cutting it. These are also the shoes that I'm going to be using. They're G3 Draculaura shoes. They'll fit her base the best since she's a G3 Draculaura. I don't know why I made them kiss just there. Moving swiftly on. We're sculpting the little bits on the Stanley Cup now to make it Cinnamon Roll themed. I thought Cinnamon Roll would be the cutest theme. And to be honest, I wanted to make that little circle donut butt on him so bad. It's not his butt, it's his tail. Regardless, I wanted to do it. Here's a little look at the shoes and the phone. I decided to sculpt a little Rillakkuma hipper on the top of the phone. It felt fitting for Vanilla to have one of those. In her stream starting up screen, she's got a little Rillakkuma on there, so it felt the best. I customized the back of the phone as well to have this pink pattern on it. And here I'm just painting Rillakkuma on there. I'm also going to make her some headphones. You can see what those look like here.
Would you date Moist Critical? Yes, 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 yes! Sorry.
I've already sewn the little cinnamon roll ears, and I'm using the earpieces from a different set of headphones that wouldn't fit her head. But I didn't really record too much of these, to be honest. I just kind of wanted to get them done. So now it's time to reveal Vanilla. This video of me making Vanillamace. I hope she sees it. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. Maybe I'll send it to her. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Till the next one. Bye bye.